Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today on Not a Nail Tech, I'm going to be creating some designs that disappear. So we're going to start off with Serious Black and we're going to put this down as a base on our first nail because I'm actually going to be creating two opposite designs and you'll see how that will look as we go on. So I'm going to be doing 2 layers of Serious Black because I want it to be completely opaque in the end. Pop that into cure and then I'm going in with that second coat now. So with this nail, by using the Serious Black, the background will always stay black, and then I'll be adding our Thermochromic gel polishers on top for a design, and that will be the bit that changes colour. So I've cured that for 60 seconds and I'm just going in with some matte coat because I'd like the background to be matte, and I actually love popping down a matte coat when I'm going to be doing any detail work because it means that the gel polishers won't slip and slide about. Pop that into cure and then I'm going in with Snow White because I'm just going to be mapping out my design in white first, because the Thermochromic gel polish that I'm using today, it goes on black, but when it heats up it goes a milky white kind of colour, but it's a little bit sheer, so I'm putting the white underneath so it doesn't look too milky on top of this black base. So I've just popped on some dots and these are going to be stars, so I'm just taking a tiny fine liner brush and just pulling that out at the top, and then I'll be pulling it out at the bottom and the sides to make the star shape. So just drag that down. You've got to make sure you've got enough product in the dots to start off with, so you don't need to be loading up your brush for this. And then just doing the sides as well. Now I'm happy with that. I'm going to cure that just in case I don't want to smudge it anywhere, and then I'm going in and just adding some dots as well. Cure that for 60 seconds and here is the Thermochromic gel polish. I'm using flip side so it goes from black to kind of like a milky creamy white, and I'm just going to be laying this over all of that white and basically making sure it's fully covered. So starting with the dots again, and then I'm just going to go in and drag them out with our fine detail brush again. This bit's a little bit fiddly, and for this nail it's actually a little bit harder because you're adding in an extra step with that white, and making sure that's covered isn't always the easiest, but I did manage with it, so hopefully if you give this a go you will too. I'm just going to pop that in the lamp for 60 seconds, and as you can see that gel polish has started to heat up in the lamp and it's turned those stars like a milky creamy kind of colour. And I'm just going back in with that Thermochromic gel polish and popping a dotting tool over the top of those dots. You can also see those stars starting to turn back to black now that they're cooling down, now they're out of the lamp. I'm just going to pop that in to cure again for 60 seconds and you can see how that nail looks. We're going to go on to the next nail now and we're going to use our Thermochromic gel polish again. And because this goes from black when it's cool to white when it's hot, we're going to use this as the base because it should stay black most of the time, and then when it heats up you'll see the design revealed. And once I'm happy with this, I'm going to pop it in the lamp for 60 seconds. Just going to add in a second coat of that, and as you can see that's turned white in the lamp, so it will look a little bit streaky at the moment because it's black going over white and the heat is making the top layer change a little bit, but when it's cured and cooled down it should look completely opaque. Now that's cured, I'm going in with our ultra matte coat and just putting that all over the nail. Cure that again, and we're going in with Serious Black, and this time we can just do the design once because we don't need to do an undercoat of a different colour because the Serious Black will just stay opaque. So just again going in with those dots, which we're going to drag out to make into stars. I'm going to cure those for 60 seconds before just going in with the dotting tool and adding those dots like I did on the previous nail. Cure that, and then with both nails I'm going to add a top coat just over that top design of stars and dots just to seal it all in because I want to keep the background matte and just keep the design shiny, so when the nails are cool you can still see the design, but only because it's shiny, but not because there's a colour difference. I'm just adding some top coat to those dots as well before we cure it for 60 seconds. And there we have our thermochromic disappearing design. So what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to show you them on a time lapse, because otherwise we'd be here for a while, how they change colour and how the design disappears again. So there we go, you can see on that background it's starting to fade down, and on the design on the other nail as well. It's like having a mood ring for your nails, isn't it? It's quite cool. And I also did a different design with some hearts just to show you how you can use it differently, but you can use it however you want. I just thought these were cute. Anyway guys, if you want any of the products, they're linked down below, and we hope to see you next time. Bye!